Hello everyone, I wanted to make a video discussing the outrage regarding Far Cry 5 and why I personally think it's completely unwarranted and nonsensical. So if you aren't aware, Ubisoft released a Far Cry 5 teaser image a couple of days ago showcasing what appeared to be a religious cult sitting in a similar style to the Last Supper painting by Leonardo da Vinci. There was an American flag on the table, and through this image and other information, several people simply lost their minds regarding the setting and antagonists of this game. Infowars.com published an article with the headline, "Villains in upcoming video game are white Christian right-wing extremists from Montana Americans cast as enemies in Far Cry 5. Because yes, Infowars, a dangerous fictitious religious cult is a pure example of the American spirit. Give me a break. So, while we don't have a great deal of information regarding the plot to Far Cry 5, here's what we know. The antagonists are a religious cult known as Eden's Gate. They've besieged an area in Montana known as Hope County and are forcefully converting citizens to their cult. They obviously have a ton of weapons, and while we don't know what their true end goals are, we can only assume that they have some sort of big final plan to bring in their version of the apocalypse. My question to everyone watching is this: if Eden's Gate are using a twisted form of Christianity to motivate them to kidnap, torture, murder, and control an area of the United States, why would anyone be outraged at the thought of putting an end to this? Is it the fact that the narrative touches on something that many people hold very sacred, their faith? Far Cry 5 simply isn't an attack on Christianity or conservative American values because the villains aren't painted as your typical run-of-the-mill Christian conservatives from Montana, but they're painted as an incredibly twisted militia that does whatever is necessary to get the job done, including killing people. Many games throughout the years have seen us fight a variety of enemies from various races, religions, and backgrounds. We've fought Nazis, Russians, Al-Qaeda, ghosts, goblins, demons, skeletons, and dragons. The fact that the enemies in a game may look similar to you, or they may be from the same area that you are, that isn't enough of a reason to be upset regarding the game. If you're simply upset that you think Far Cry 5 is taking a stab at your faith or your values, you don't sympathize with these characters, the militant extremists, do you? Like, you're not killing people, you're not torturing people, so they're not taking a stab at your faith. They're using this as a plot device to further the gameplay. Odds are, if you're one of the people that are mad about Far Cry 5's enemies, you're the same type of person who gets upset about what you consider to be overly politically correct and progressive culture when a game developer like BioWare makes certain romance options in Mass Effect same-sex only. You cry outrage when you feel like a developer is pandering to the social justice or progressive community, yet you would be okay with censoring a story simply because it makes you a bit uncomfortable. All I'm asking for here is a little bit of consistency, across the board. I and many other people in the gaming community consider video games to be an art form in the same way that we see movies and books as art. I'm a firm believer in allowing for the writers and developers to have free reign in their storytelling, and the minute that you claim that something is off limits is when you begin to kill the art. Art should occasionally offend people's sensibilities. It should be thought-provoking. It should make you see things from a different perspective. My biggest advice to anyone who is truly upset about Far Cry 5 is, go ahead, voice your concerns, let them be known, but most importantly, just vote with your wallet. If a game offends you, simply don't buy it. Any attempts to censor what the game's story is about or who the antagonists are, it just comes across as a digital book burning. So, to summarize, Far Cry 5 is fictional. Eden's Gate are obviously inspired by real-world events such as the Branch Davidians in Waco, Texas, but it isn't an attack on white conservative Christians. It's simply a story to push forward gameplay in a new setting outside of the typical Far Cry exotic locations. You could replace Eden's Gate with drug cartels, and literally no one would have batted an eye. However, I think this was a conscious choice by Ubisoft. Controversy leads to free publicity. Just take a look at No Russian from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Every time someone gets upset and posts an angry comment or an article about Far Cry 5, you're only being counterproductive to your goal. You're giving the game free marketing, and you're making it appear on the radar of people who otherwise aren't really fans of the series. I've historically never been a Far Cry fan, but after all of this controversy, I'm definitely going to be picking it up just to see what all the fuss is about. But anyways, that wraps up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you are one of the people who are upset about Far Cry 5, I hope I gave you a different perspective so that you can realize that the enemies in Far Cry 5, we're not fighting against traditional American values. These are legitimate bad guys with bad intentions, and, they don't represent American values, so obviously that argument is sort of dead in the water. But I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to put a thumbs up on it. And if you're new to Split Screen, why not subscribe for the latest gaming news, guides, reviews, and entertainment. My name is Cody, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.